X Factor. All right, we were blessed with one X book this week, and instead of like 17 in one day, we have X Factor number 4, which is 10 of Swords, part 2 of 22. Last we left off, Apocalypse took a team of X-Men into Otherworld to confront the army of the Amenth that are coming straight for Krakoa to reclaim it, and it didn't go so well. They were pretty much betrayed by the Summoner, who is his grandson, and that was pretty fucked up. The chapter picks up immediately where we left off. Rockslide was murdered, by the way. That's an important thing to remember for this chapter. And we pick up in Krakoa where Banshee's sister, I guess, carries Richter through the Eternal's Gate, and the rest of the mutants that went to Otherworld follow. Apocalypse is not in good shape. He is literally like, where is... And he looks over and Richter is dying. And he's like, no, Richter, my friend. And, the rest of the X-Men show up and is like, what the fuck happened? So, not great things. Rockslide was murdered, and Polaris feels real bad about that. On the other side of Otherworld, Saturnine just kind of seals the gate to Otherworld, so nobody could get in or out without her say-so. Throughout the issue, we get these little interstitial informational pages about the other realms within Otherworld. Not going to go through all of them. It's a lot of information. So Rachel tries to go dig into Polaris's mind to find the details of the tournament that Saturnine proposed between the Amenth forces and Krakoans. So essentially, Krakoa is supposed to choose 10 people to wield 10 swords to fight against 10 people from the Amenth side, and winner gets Krakoa. Tournament arc, yes.
Why does X-Men have a tournament arc?
Because it's awesome, Brian. That's why.
And why not? I'll counter your question with that one. Why not?
It becomes more and more like
Come on,
X-Men
bro, it doesn't get better than this.
X-Men becomes more and more like a fucking shonen manga. More than
I'm not mad at it.
It's lit, bro. You complaining about that?
You got to get on
wish
it,
it was
Brian.
Dragon Ball Z where Cyclops would beat everybody?
You got to get on it, Brian. By the way, we never got an explanation about that.
X-Men is really good.
But anyway, we'll get that out of you another time. So yeah, they try to dig in Rachel's mind, but Saturnine has a mental block on her, so they can't really read her mind. Polaris has to kind of like figure it out. Bless you, Josh. Meanwhile, bless you again. Meanwhile, at the healer's fortress, he's healing both Apocalypse and Richter. And he's trying to heal Apocalypse first because I guess Apocalypse can be saved, and Richter is pretty much on death's door. And Apocalypse is like, you're just letting him die? And he's like, he'll be resurrected in 20 minutes. And he's like, okay, cool. I guess I'll kill you too then. And then he just starts murdering the healer. And I'm like, you toxic,
well, you know what it is?
Boy.
He said something about them being connected. So I think if Richter dies, he dies as well.
I guess. Not necessarily connected in that way, though. I don't think he dies if Richter dies, but I think something does happen if he dies. That's something bad. And right as he's murdering the healer, that's when Rachel just just makes a psychic illusion where he's getting murdered by his children, by the Four Horsemen again. And he's like, leave me. Leave me alone. That was fucked up too soon. So Polaris walks in to Xavier, where he's hanging out with the people, with the 5 who are in charge of resurrection, and she basically explains the entire situation to them, and Xavier's like, "Oh no, it was a trap. It's like we told him not to fucking do this, huh?" Yeah. Richter.
Oh man, and Charles and Magneto let him have it.
Oh, we'll get to
that. Though.
Okay, so basically they're like, all right, let's resurrect these guys ASAP. So they resurrect Rockslide and Richter, who just passed away. Richter comes out fine. Xavier is able to implant his memories from the backup again. But Rockslide is a little different. He tries to do it with Rockslide, but his cerebro and his head just like short circuits, and everybody's like, "The fuck?" And not only that, across the cradles, the Krakoan cradles, which are essentially like different cerebral helmets that serve as backups for everybody as well, all start to short circuit at the same time, including Moira's no place. And we haven't seen Moira in a while, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, terrible things happen. Rockslide dies again because he was unable to, like, his body is unable to uphold itself, its form. And Rockslide is dead for real. And they're like, fuck. And they're worried that the whole fucking resurrection process is tainted at this point. They destroyed the rest of the eggs so that it doesn't spread to future resurrections. And all resurrections are going to be put on hold from now on until they figure out what the fuck happened. At some point, Rockslide just comes back, though. I don't know, like some of his pieces come together, and it's Rockslide. But he doesn't know himself. He has no memories. But it's definitely him, according to Xavier. He can read his mind. He's like, it's him, but it's also not him. And we come to learn that resurrection turns out, if you die in Otherworld, the difference between Richter and Rockslide is Richter died on Krakoa, whereas Rockslide died on Otherworld. And when you die on Otherworld, it corrupts your backups. So if you die, it's technically permanent. Like, you run the risk of just really being dead. And if they try to resurrect you, you become an amalgam of different alternate versions of yourself across the multiverse. So Rockslide is himself, but he's also a piece of himself from another alternate universe and another alternate universe, and it's all condensed into one person, which is a pretty heavy way to set the stakes. This is like, they can't just resurrect the way out of this one. So yeah, basically they're like trying to think about like not even doing this tournament arc because like if they can,
I mean, there's 10 stakes, bro. But you know exactly what this is about. They're basically they're adding an element of like, oh, you know, the
stakes.
I'm saying all these words to basically say, yeah, you die. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the resurrection ain't gonna be able to save their ass this time.
Yeah, they're really like they're really dying. And then as the meeting continues, a prophecy just leaks out of fucking what's her face's? I don't know. I don't know why I'm blanking on Polaris's mouth. She's just like yelling this prophecy, and it's basically listing off the people who are going to participate in this through riddles, because can't nothing be cryptic. It can't nothing be clear in a magic world. It's all got to be in riddles and shit. But yeah. That's when we get Josh's favorite part, when Magneto and Xavier pull up to Apocalypse's bedside, and they're like, yeah, bad news. We're stopping resurrections for now, so if you die, there'll be a couple of days till we can bring you back, so, and nobody's going to mourn you because you really fucked us this time, Apocalypse. Yeah, you really have us over a barrel here. And then Apocalypse has to just sit there and be like, shall we? He doesn't say sorry, but his face is just like, shit. Over this time, we get a little narration from Polaris, who is kind of just... She's got a weird relationship with Magneto, who's her dad, and Magneto's like a dick to her.
Yeah.
Just basically like...
I guess because Wanda's the worst. And it's like, God damn it, daughter. And I guess Quicksilver's kind of corny, too. I don't know where he's been.
Yeah, I don't know either. But in any
case, I guess he'd rather be with the Avengers.
Essentially, she puts a lot of pressure on Polaris, to succeed and, be as good as he is. And over the course of this narration, she finds, she starts like feeling clues in her head from Saturnine as to what they're supposed to do next. And she finds the thing. She finds what they're looking for. And apparently, in this weird area of Krakoa, there's this ring and there are these 10 little circles in this ring where the warriors are supposed to stand when they find their swords. And once they get there, they'll be teleported to the site of the battle, and they'll be fighting. And tournament arc can begin proper, which is real cool. And before she continues, is like, let's be warned, champions, it's kind of like a volunteer process. I mean, there's a prophecy, but just understand if you participate, there may not be coming back if you die. So, we got to do this because, we can't waste Rockslide's death. Nobody was supposed to die on here. That's the whole point of Krakoa, essentially. So we got to make his death worth something. And Magic is the first one to step up and be like, she takes her sword and she's
like, man, I was born ready for this. This is literally why I even joined Krakoa, to get shit popping in these type of situations.
Hell yeah, dude.
See, I don't care about death. I'm going to kill everybody. I'm Ilyana Rasputin, the fan favorite, and I'm going to win. And it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but then it's going to be really easy after I snap my fingers and power up. You know how that goes.
We'll see. Maybe she dies.
Soul Sword.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get a
They
breakdown.
never let me be happy like that. There's no way.
There's an informational page that I will break down because it is essentially like the list of characters that are going to participate for the most part. Ileana's the first, it looks like. Cable, obviously, because he's got a sword in his book. That's pretty important. Warlock is one of them, apparently. Storm, obviously, is one of them. It's all... They break down parts of the riddle that they got, and they try to connect it to the mutant that would have to fight. Logan is one of them, obviously. Wolverine. And he already knows where his sword is. He's like, well, I guess I gotta go get my sword in Japan. And I'm like, yeah. Wolverine's gonna fucking fight with a katana in Magic Land. Big fan. Then it's the Braddock kids, obviously Elizabeth. Captain Britain is gonna be one of them. Gorgon is one of them. Apocalypse is the other. And so far, that's the entire list. I don't know if that's really 10. I didn't count. But... is his name. And that's where the issue ends. It's pretty cool. If I wasn't sold on 10 of Swords yet, I am now. I'm pretty stoked about this. I like how they... they had to make it so, like, if you die, you die. Yeah. You have to up the ante if you're going to make a big event.
I feel bad for any Rockslide fans. Yeesh, that was greasy, man. He got put out easy, simply.
Yeah.
No fight. That's the worst way, honestly.
I agree.
That wouldn't encourage me to want to keep reading the series. That would encourage me to be like, man, I hope these guys lose, or I'm going to read it when they end up getting smoked. Because fuck out of here. I miss Rockslide.
Yeah, but essentially, I mean, certified very good issue for me.
Certified VG.
Same.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Pick it up. I mean, come on, get 10 of Swords, guys. It's so good. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where it goes. Tournament arc? If they do one-on-one battles, I'm finished.
That's exactly what's going to happen, and I can't wait.
I mean, it's a long event.
If Wolverine dies, he's fine because he won't really die.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to affect it.
But in any case, 10 of Swords. Pick it up. My name is Christian Espinol, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching New Jump City. If you enjoyed this podcast and you want to keep up with it, then please hit that subscribe button. If you have any general feedback for the show or just want to share your thoughts on the comics we just talked about, then drop them in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you guys and start a dialogue. You should also know that we have a 49-episode backlog on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just follow the links in the description below. And FYI, the audio version of the podcast usually comes out first. Thank you again for your support, and stay safe, New Jump citizens.